may not be able to save the well, but I can ensure that its only success is safe.
Only through battle can we break the chains that fate has forged.
So I've just spent about an hour and a half in Reckoning, Kindgoms of Amalur, the new game from 38 Studios, big huge games and EA. And I thought, you know, if you could just describe a little bit how the start of the adventure is and what people can expect from that start that I just played.
So you actually begin, your player character, you reawaken on a pile of corpses. And you have no memory really of who you are or what your past is. But you soon discover that you are the first person to be successfully resurrected by this device known as the Well of Souls. And really, a lot of the main quest involves your sort of rediscovery of what your past was and what your role was in this kind of larger conflict, a huge war actually that's going on, what your role in that was, and how it was that you actually came to die.
I noticed that a lot of people keep dying around me when I'm starting this game, and I guess that's one of the, you know, things that's going to follow you throughout your sort of fate that you're building in the game. Like, can you tell us a little bit about the lore and what is this Well of Souls and who built it and why?
Well, it was built by the Gnomish folk. One principal architect is a fellow named Fumerus Hughes, and actually, the details, I guess, of Hughes' sort of experiment, I think, probably should really be left, I guess, for the player to discover on his own.
Because you talk to him in the start of the game, but then he sort of, he doesn't really follow you out the
That's right.
collapsing cave, and you don't know what happened to him.
In fact, you know, your presumption is that that maybe he actually perished in that. All right, so maybe it's a slight spoiler. He doesn't perish in that, and you find out a little bit later about how he escaped and what he's been up to since then.
I could sort of guess that because you didn't really get to see him getting crushed, so maybe that.
Saw him slash his way out of a bad situation, so you know.
Pretty resourceful.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can stab people. Why not?
So the player gets a few choices in the beginning. He gets to choose his race or sort of his background and a few little things like that. But what struck me was how open the player is to sort of pick his path and choose along the way. And could you sort of tell us a little bit about the philosophy that's gone into sort of classes and character?
Yeah, so I mean, in you know, many RPGs, you're forced to choose a class right at the beginning, and then you're kind of stuck with it throughout the rest of the game. I mean, you have to be a fighter, a mage, or a rogue. We take a slightly different approach. We kind of give you you're a blank slate at the beginning. You don't have any particular class, and you know, the beginning moments of the kind of tutorial section teach you about some of the different class weapons that you might adopt and some of the abilities that you can do, but it doesn't force you to choose one. So really throughout the game, you are leveling up, you're acquiring abilities, and then these unlock what we call destinies. And destiny you can kind of think of as a class that you can equip. And it gives you different, you know, attack and defense bonuses, and you can change those throughout the game. You could be changing your destiny all the way up till the end after many hours of gameplay.
You can mix and match a little bit as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, really, it's the ultimate split class kind of system. I mean, you can just really determine kind of how much of a sort of finesse or rogue kind of style of gameplay you want versus how much kind of fighting and melee or how much magic. Really, it's kind of up to you.
I think what I did was I spent my skill points in the sort of might category, and then I was an acolyte, so I had, you know, a little bit of both there.
Yeah, that's right. Or I forget what those initial three are, I guess, that you unlock. He is a brawler and third one, yeah. But Yeah, that's right. You can, you decide, I guess, which of those really you're kind of stepping down, and then they become, well, depending on how you're playing. You can totally choose to concentrate in just one of those disciplines if you want. I mean, if you want to be the pure fighter, you can actually go that route too.
So the first area that you sort of explore in Reckoning is sort of lush and green and sort of beautiful in a way, but sort of what is the world like, and how is this war sort of torn the world, like how has it affected the world?
Well, so I guess just talking to talking about the geographic kind of aspects of this. So there's 5 geographic regions. They each have their own kind of look and feel, their own biomes, their own architecture. And, there's everything from, like you said, the lush forests to some dank swamps to arid deserts to this kind of crystalline sort of, bitter and dark end game kind of environment. So there's quite a big variety, I guess, of regions to actually explore. And the second part of your question was around...
So how has the war sort of affected the world?
Yeah, that's right. So when you reawaken, really the war is at something of a stalemate. The mortal races of men and elves have managed to fight these immortal beings known as the Fae to something of a kind of a stalemate, but it's a war of attrition really that they're not going to win. So they need a hero really who's going to kind of break the stalemate, the impasse that's going on. And so there's a key battle that you take place that you participate in that is one of the more, I guess, decisive battles really for the game.
So the combat system is also a very interesting point, and finally I got my hands on it. Sort of talked about it a lot before, but it's fairly sort of real time, quick combos, that sort of stuff. But then you have the fate shift thing, which sort of changes things up a little bit. And I'm not sure I fully mastered it because I only played a couple of hours, but it looks like you can either do it against like a big enemy to get XP bonus, or you could do it like against several enemies. If you're quick enough to kill them all, then you get the bonus for them all.
That's right.
So there's sort of a balance there between sort of risking too much and sort of getting that reward.
Yeah. So when you choose to go into the Reckoning mode, you unleash this, and you've got a timer basically that you have a certain amount of time to take out as many opponents as you can before you unleash this thing called the Fate Shift Kill, and that's this kind of special semi-scripted kill moment, but you choose when to release that. So you can go around and try to get as many opponents as you can to unlock more of that XP bonus.
And then it's all about mashing as fast as you can to get that bonus.
Then there's an additional kind of bonus modifier to that, where
you always get a bonus with Fate Shift, even if you don't max out that.
Yeah, that's right. But you can bring it all the way up to 100% if you're truly fast.
So would you say it's because I was torn between sort of waiting to use it when I've faced more powerful enemies, or sort of using it all the time to sort of get XP?
Well, I mean, I guess actually that is kind of a choice because, if you're really going for a lot of XP, then I guess, you might decide to use it one way. But, for me personally, I guess I tend to do it more when I feel like I'm going to be overwhelmed in a kind of bad situation. And really, this is my moment that I can slow down my opponents, and I can really do considerably more damage to them. It's factored up by quite a lot during that moment. So, that combination of kind of the bullet time and doing immense damage is that's another good reason to actually use Reckoning mode.
So what we played here, I didn't experience any bugs or any problems or any glitches or anything like that. So feels pretty solid what you've got now. So how is the last few months of development going to be like, and what are you looking to improve on?
Oh, well, there's a considerable amount of polishing and bug fixing, optimizing that's going on, and it's such an immense kind of game that there's all sorts of kind of areas that we're targeting, but certainly. I think sometimes you might see it even occasionally. This is not anywhere near final code that you were looking at, but there are moments where there's a slight, say, moment where it's loading in an effect or something like that. That's the kind of stuff that we certainly want to get rid of, and then just other technical glitches. But overall polish, I guess, to a lot of the main quest thread, for sure.
And sort of leading up to launch and then past launch, what kind of plans do you have for DLC and that sort of things?
Can't speak to that. Got to actually point you towards your PR contact, only for the details. I don't have the details myself.
But there are plans.
Can't even confirm nor deny any plans.
I think I've heard something about that before, so pretty much count on that. But all right, so we'll. Yeah, I think Ken Rolston said it. So. All right, so we're happy to play Reckoning this February. Is that right?
That's right, February of 2012 on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.